Ah, hello everyone. General Hand Grenade here. Welcome to snowy Prince George in the dead of winter. it's I'm getting tired of shoveling my driveway already. Just like a week or two ago, there wasn't even any snow on the ground, like just a skiff, right? And man, we just been getting pounded over the last couple of days, and I'm getting too old to shovel that snow. My kids are too old; they already moved out. So what can you do, right? Just keep shoveling it. Anyway, a couple of reasons that I'm sitting in front of you today. Um, I was going to do kind of a year in review, but like not very in depth or anything. Just give you a few of my thoughts over the past year and some of the things coming up in the next year. And the other thing is, last night sometime, I was talking to my friend Panzer King on the phone. We were texting back and forth, and so I was on my phone. Right, I'm looking at my phone and I'm doing my shit on there. In fact, I better turn my phone off right now. And Oh, it's off. Okay. So anyway, I just went on to YouTube there, and I was at 1,500 subscribers, and I knew I was getting close. Like I looked earlier in the day, and it was 14.99. And so anyway, I just happened to look last night, and it was 1,500, and so wow, like right now I'm 1,503 right now. That's just amazing. What I find even more amazing is how fast it's going now, right? Like it just seems like a few months ago, a couple months ago, when it was at 1,000. So I don't even remember what date it was, but I think it was in the fall, wasn't it? Anyway, it's just going fast and furious, right? When you first start out, it seems like you'll never get to the, like your 5 subscribers. I'll never get to 10, I'll never get to 25, and I'll never get to 100. And just after you start getting up there, it just kind of starts steamrolling, right? Like right around 500, it started picking up momentum. So it was a lot less time to get from 500 to 1,000 than it was from 0 to 500. And it seemed like no time at all from 1,000 to 1,500. And that's really neat. The uh, the views, there's over 250,000 views on there, like 263,000 and change. So that's how many times my videos have been watched by people. And, like sure, 150,000 of those have been my mom, but as my friend Nato in Montana says, yeah, but it still counts. So anyway, but that's a lot of people to tune in and watch you play with your little plastic army men on the internet, right? Uh, and that entertains me just in itself, right? Just knowing that people do that. Um, and I know why, because I like to do that too. I like to watch other people's videos, and like I get up and I look, oh damn, no videos today, and you guys got to get busy, start making some more videos out there. Like there's just not enough. Um, all that we seem to get now is just the YouTube wars and things like that, and those are great. But like let's get some other videos in there. Come on, guys, pick it up. Don't let me make all the videos. Anyway, so yeah, I'm enjoying that. So over the past year, what are the things that have happened? Probably the biggest thing that had happened was the bloodbath in LA. My friend Sire Blood had a tournament down there, and he went overboard, just like I knew he would. Like if you ever watch any of his videos, you know just how meticulous he is, and such attention to detail and everything, right? So he made his own map, like from scratch. It doesn't look anything like an Axis and Allies map, but it is an Axis and Allies map. The territories are all where they're supposed to be and everything, in the sea zones. He made his own rules, which, from what I could tell, I haven't played the game, but excuse me, from what I can tell, it looks like an enhancement on the game for sure. Um, what I don't like is when people just add a shit ton of rules that just because, oh, that sounds good, oh, that sounds good, oh, that sounds good, right? But he doesn't do that. Like he adds one rule, and then him and his group, they play it for a while and they talk about it, and they might change it or they might scrap it, right? And then they'll add another one, and then they'll play it for a while and they'll talk about it, and they'll keep it or scratch it or modify another one to fit in with this one. So and that's a good way to do it. So he didn't have 10,000 new rules in his game. He just had a dozen or two, and they made the game still a global 40 game, but an enhanced global 40 game, and that's really what your goal should be, I think, if you want to stay true to that game, to the global 40 game, right? Um, but like you see some people, and they throw in all kinds of stuff that it just you can't even recognize the game anymore. All you can really recognize is the map they're playing on, and that's about it. But anyway, that game looked really good, and he had a tournament, and lots of good players showed up for that, and they had a good time, which is the main thing. Um, One of the cool things that I found when we went to that Grasshopper tournament, when Sard was my partner, um, was meeting the other people in the community. Um, it's not just your own little play group, where you live, but you actually get to meet people that you've seen online. Either you've read a lot of their posts on accessanallies.org, or you might have seen videos that they might have made. Um, just it's neat to be able to put a face to the words that you see on your computer, or even if you have seen the person on YouTube, it kind of surprises you. Holy crap, that guy's short! Like you don't know that until you actually stand there in the same room as that person, right? And you don't really get a sense too much anyway of who they are, just from a video. Like me, I try to be just myself in a video, but that's not entirely true, because I do have to filter myself a lot more in a video, right? As we all do. I mean, we don't want to get booted off YouTube, right? That would be bad. Um, so anyway, it's neat going to these tournaments, and I encourage anybody that's watching these videos to go to any tournament that's near your town. Like, take the weekend and go there. Kiss your wife goodbye and say, "I'll be back next week, honey." It's a lot of fun. Um, you're going there, and you're talking to people that are like minded, right? Like, you could sit there around a table at a pub afterwards, and somebody says something about C Zone 110, and everybody laughs, right? And the table next to you looking at you like, what the fuck does that mean? And like, we experienced that in Toronto, right? People that were sitting around us, we were all from everywhere, right? In Europe and everyththing, and people go, "You guys aren't from around here, are you?" Well, that guy is. He Grasshopper's from here. Grasshopper. What the hell? Oh yeah, we play games. Oh, okay. So yeah, we were telling them where we're all from, and they're, wow. And you guys just showed up to play a game? Yeah. Why would you travel? Like, anyway, it's just an absolute blast when you go to do that. And so there was that tournament, and then there was a Bay Area thing that Corpo has. I think he's got another one coming up in January, January 27th or something like that. So yeah, lots of great players in the Bay Area, lots of them, and so I think it's an anniversary tournament. So if you like the anniversary game, and you don't mind traveling, or you're in the Bay Area, or in anywhere near Northern California, I encourage you to go there, because lots of great guys. I've met a couple of them, and I know a couple of them online, and I know that they'll be there. Um, Probably Moffett Field will be there, and I imagine Sneaky Carl will be there. A couple other guys. I can't confirm that. I'm just saying they live there, so I can't see why they wouldn't go. Right? I know Corporal's going to be there. Um, but yeah, there was that. And there was an event in Vancouver recently, and usually it was just where Sneaky Carl comes up to Vancouver, and he gets together with Gargantua and a couple of guys, and they play a game, right? But this year it kind of snowballed into, I think they had 3 tables going, and they had 2 teams from British Columbia, or maybe 3, and 2 or 3 teams from the United States. Like, they had a team from the Bay Area, and one from the Pacific Northwest, and at least 2 teams from BC anyway. One from Vancouver, and one from not Vancouver. So yeah, like some guys came over from Victoria and stuff, and I wanted to go down, but I couldn't make it because um, I'm working without a contract right now. Like they were seriously talking about going on strike at the time, and in fact, some of the mills up here did go on strike at that very time, and in the weeks leading up to it, they've kind of forgot about it right now because the Christmas season and everything. I would imagine all that shit will start up again in January though, where they'll start having a pissing contest again, and who knows, maybe I'll be on strike next month. I'm not sure, but I didn't want to go and spend all that money when I didn't know if I was going to be able to replace that money, right? Um, but hopefully it'll be over soon because I am trying to book a trip in February. I think I'm going to book it anyway. It's something I really want to do. So again, looking back, what else has happened? I think another really big deal is the 3G 40 game that's being developed by Grasshopper and Friends. Gargantua was involved in that, and I think Big Al Meacham and just a whole bunch of guys, and not just them developing it, but people playtesting it everywhere as well. He had a big playtest weekend at the bunker probably about a month ago or so, and SS went up there, and Hambone was there, I think, and a bunch of other guys, and they've all got their maps printed off, and they're playtesting it with their own playtest groups. I like that. I like the fact that it's not just one group doing it. I like the fact that there's a bunch of groups that are playtesting the game because if you get a couple of dominant personalities in a game, they can kind of steer a game in one direction. But if they're not there and it's a whole different set of people, then they might take the game into a different direction, and so they might expose some kind of weakness or find some area of improvement in the game on their own, right? Excuse me, and then they can communicate that back to Grasshopper, and eventually that game can be finalized. It's perhaps the most beautiful map out there of any of the Axis and Allies style game maps. It's just an unbelievably gorgeous map. Um, I haven't gotten into it because I've been so in depth into the 36 game, and that game is extremely consuming, right? Um, to try to learn that game, it takes a lot of focus and everything. So I did not want to learn that and learn the 3G40 game and learn Blood's game all at the same time because then you're starting, okay, and the rules start mixing up. You're playing a game and you're using part of a rule from this game, part of a rule from this game. I mean, just the regular G40 rules, I've got those down pat. I mean, they're just solid in my mind, right? But when you start mixing extra rules, then I think that it's just a little bit too confusing, right? So maybe I'll pick that game up in the future. Maybe I'll pick both of them up in the future at some point in time. But right now, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing with the 36 game, and that's the trip that I was talking about that I might make in February. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go. I'm going to go down to Tulsa, down to Historical Board Gaming, and play test with some other guys the next version of the 36 game that is scheduled to be out in next summer. We'll see, like if it's next summer or next fall or whatever, but hopefully it'll be out in December, and I'll be excited to see more of the new rules. I already have a lot of them. Doug and I talk a lot, and he shared with me some of the things. I've seen the new map, and I've seen a lot of the new rules, and I'm playtesting. If you can look behind me there's the war room. I'm playtesting some of those rules myself right now, or the proposed rules. Like I don't know how that works with those guys. Like get there and say, I don't like this about that. We'll get the fuck out then or something. Or if they, oh, okay, what do you think? I don't know. I'm just gonna play it by ear when I get there. Um, so like I don't know how much input that I will have, or if I'm just there to roll some dice or whatever. But I think it'd be interesting anyway, just to go to historical board gaming. And like I just how much I love Little Plastic Army Man. I think I'll probably just explode. Look at all the little army man. It'll be so much fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting those guys. I've got a picture. You see that the white frame on the top back there? That's me and Larry Harris at Grasshopper Invitational. So I'm hoping I've got a white frame just like that one. I'm hoping to get a picture of me and Doug and Will. Um, just like that one, kind of, well, where the three of us are standing there, right? Because then I'll have the me and the creator of Axis and Allies, and then me and the creators of Global War 36. So I'm hoping to get that picture while I'm down there. Um, anyway, I haven't booked my ticket yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go. Just been kind of, I thought I'd get through the Christmas season here, make sure nothing weird happened, right? Nothing major, um, major drain on my finances or anything like that. Um, so yeah, looking forward to that, and looking forward to the new version of 36. But yeah, so but yeah, like I started talking about the 3G40 game. It does look, it looks really, really good. Um, yeah, I wish that there was a better avenue with the people who own that franchise now to work with them to make better games. Um, because like these guys could work with them, like kind of like what I want to do, work with historical board gaming to see if we can make 36 better. And not just me. I mean, there's lots of people that they work with, right? Lots of people who play the game that have ideas that they've play tested with and that they communicate with, right? That give them their ideas. And but it just, I'm not a fan of Wizards of the Coast. They're the people that own Axis and Allies now, and it just like it started with the global games, right? Um, they like those are great games and all, but like you got the little cardboard factories in them. There was no money in the game, no money at all, right? But little cardboard factories and cardboard pieces, naval and air bases, like that's just lazy. You know what I mean? That's just a money grab. Um, all those years of Axis and Allies where they were quality games, where there was factories in them. You got a lot of money in them to use. If you needed a piece, the piece was in the game, right? Yeah, there was little cardboard roundels, but nobody expected any more than that, right? But and then the Wizards of the Coast took over, and Larry was still working with them on that game, and they had a big fight. I was talking with Larry about it in Toronto there, and he stormed out of the room because they couldn't spend. I think it was 8 cents. It was going to be to put money in each of those games, right? In the Pacific and in the Europe game, 8 cents, and they wouldn't do it. And so he stormed out of the room, and I think that's. I don't know if that was where it started going wrong, or that was the last nail in the coffin, or if that was just another thing, but he doesn't have anything to do with that anymore. That's why he's got his own new game coming out that is not Axis and Allies, right? Like he had nothing to do with zombies, I don't think. And like there's another piece of shit game. Like I know a lot of you like this game. This Axis and Allies and zombies, and ooh, it's so cool. And fuck off. I was born at an age where um, everybody around me, all the adults around me, um, had something to do with World War II, and it was such a major event in the world. Like you think of a war that happens now, and there, it's a big deal if your family's involved in it, right? Like if you have somebody serving over there, or if say your parents served over there or something. And I say over there, I don't know where that is. You know what I mean? Just pick any war, right? Those were small potatoes, right? Compared to World War II. Like World War II was the whole world. It wasn't just a dozen people dying today or 100 maybe. It was thousands. It was tens of thousands of people dying every day, you know, and civilians everywhere. And it was such a big deal. And you couldn't help but have respect and reverence for these people who had to go through that and to be as strong as they were, you know, like the respect that they had for everybody else. It's like it instilled a sense of not just pride, but a sense of respect in them. You know what I mean? And you couldn't help but respect them, right? And so somebody wants to put zombies into that game, and I just think, like that's just wrong. That's just today's boogeyman. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, before zombies came along, it was I don't know, vampires. like Axis and Allies and vampires. And what's the next one going to be, right? Some kind of thing that hasn't even been invented yet. So you, like, say you're 20 years old right now, you'll be 40 or 50 years old, and something will come out, and it'll be even grosser than zombies, and they'll try to put that into World War II or something, and you'll be looking at it, what the fuck is that? Because it doesn't belong. It just doesn't belong. You know what I mean? It's something that's just ridiculous. Zombies don't exist. Okay, they're just a figment of somebody's imagination, and they got popular. You know, it could have just been My Little Pony. It could have been Smurfs, Axis and Allies and Smurfs. It just depends on what got popular, and zombies got really popular. So let's throw them into Axis and Allies. Like, that's what Wizards of the Coast does, and that's what I don't like about these people. And it's a real shame. Like, I wouldn't want to work with them if on their next version of a game, even if there was one. I don't know if there is or not. One that isn't fucking ridiculous like Axis and Allies and Zombies. And some people say, "Oh, it's a fun game." I bet it is, but it's just a game. To you, it's just a game. To me, it's not. Okay, and that's why I'm offended by it. And but the world is big enough for both of us to exist in, and that's fine. But like a month ago or so, like, you'll get questions all the time. Are you going to do a video on Axis Knowledge and Zombies? And for the 100th time, you got to answer another person and say, no, I'm not. There's no such thing as zombies. I had one guy say, okay, well, I just unsubscribe to you then. See ya. you know, you should go find a channel where people love zombies then. I don't know. Like, what the fuck do you want me to tell you? Like, zombies aren't real, dude. What can you do? I don't know. But anyway, it's a shame that you can't work with these people. And if you did, then they would take your idea and make it into a piece of shit like that. Like, if Grasshopper and his team got together, and this was the new version of Axis and Allies, and with all the stuff in there and everything, and then then they hand it over to them, and then they get it back, and it's just a piece of shit. Like, it's going to be warp boards, and it's, I don't know. It's just a shame that a company like that had to take over such a great franchise like Larry Harris's franchise of Axis and Allies. Um, but yeah, that was another big thing that happened last year was a new low in Axis and Allies with the release of that game. As far as I'm concerned, you can love that game all you want. I never will. I'll never play it. I'll never touch it. Um, so what else? Drink a coffee. That's what else. Um, um, well, there's a lot more YouTubers now than there was a year ago. That's for sure. Um, Let me just look through my list here. These are just the people that I found. Okay. Uh, Trying to scroll here. Okay. Well, I just subscribed to one yesterday. His name is Warpig, and I think he's gonna have a good channel. He seems like the kind of person that I would like. He's a veteran himself, and he had people in his family who served in World War II, and so I think he's probably feels the same way about zombies as I do. I don't know. I've never talked to him about it, but he seems like the kind of person that would not be big into the zombies on his Axis and Allies board. He's just gotten back into the game. Um, he played classic for years, like a lot of us did, and then his life grew into a different direction and got involved in this and that and another thing. And then just recently, he got involved in it again. He was talking to an old friend of his who he used to play Axis and Allies with, and said, "Hey, is there a way to play online?" And so he went online and he found us all. He found all the videos and he found, you know, all the games and everything, and so he's really excited. He just got the Global 40 game, and he did an unboxing of them. So he's only got two videos at this point. There's that unboxing of those two games, and there's an introduction of him. So check him out. His name is Warpig. Hillpop Top Pillbox. He just put out a video there last week, a couple days ago anyway. It's about time. What are you doing, dude? Anyway, yeah, he. Hang on a second. He playing around with my computer here. Yeah, he put out a 1939 video, and you don't see too many of those. And what that game was the guys at Historical Board Gaming moving away from Axis and Allies and building their own game. So that game is probably halfway to three quarters of the way between the 36 game and the 1940 game, the Global 40 game. They started on their path of creating a game, and that was a pretty good one. And then so now with the release of the 36 game, that's the next iteration of it. And then of course, then in the upcoming year, that'll be the next version of the 36 game. So 39 is kind of like in between Global 40 and 36 as far as complexity goes. Uh, but yeah, it does look like a good game, and you can pick that map up pretty cheap too, from Historical Board Gaming. It's under $100 anyway, because I mean they've moved on from that game, right? Um, so you can still get the map, but they prefer the 36 one, right? Who else? Detroit. My friend Detroit, love that guy, New Jersey. He's starting to get a lot of people coming to his place now. I noticed that. Gonna have to build a new bathroom, Detroit. I noticed. uh, he's getting lots of guys coming to his house now and playing the game. I remember talking to him, I don't know, shit, a year or two ago, and he's oh, I love this game, Brian, but I just can't find anybody in my area to play. Now he's got people banging on his door, right? Can I play? So that's great. I love it. And I loved his. They had a series, him and a bunch of other guys, Sire Blood and GI Joe, and a whole bunch of them. They did a YouTube war with the Bloodbath rules, and he recapped every person's turn. And one guy doesn't have a channel, VK Cowboy. He was playing the Italian, so I don't know how they did that. Like VK would have probably just emailed him, this is what I did or whatever, right? And so then Detroit would make a video of that. So he made a video of everybody's turn all the way through it. So you could just go to his channel and run that playlist, and you'll see a whole game. And it was an interesting game too. Like it took a lot of interesting twists and turns. And by watching that game, also you can see the difference between the regular Global 40 and the Bloodbath rules, and you can see some of the interesting rules and in that game through that. But yeah, he's perhaps the nicest guy in the entire community, and I'm not just saying that. Like he's just an awesome person, and someday I hope to go to Rochelle Park, New Jersey, and bang on his door. Gee, so you better build a bathroom, dude. Okay, who's next here? Ruth Coladonado. That's Viper and NATO. You need to change the name on your YouTube channel there, Ruth. Um, uh, Change it back to the old one, because that always screws. Who's that? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so that's Viper and NATO down in Montana, and I've talked to them on the phone a couple times, and really nice people. Yeah, they're doing a lot of play testing. He is a student of history, and he's going to school right now. Both of them are veterans. Um, and anyway, he's gone back to school, and so he's putting his schooling to use on he uses a 36 board. They started out with a 40 board, but now they're using a 36 board, and they're doing a lot of different games, like not just World War II, but a lot of different ones. I hooked them up with Doug at Historical Board Gaming, and Doug sent them. I think he sent them the 1914 board as well, like their World War One board, so that he could work on some other games with them, because that's kind of like what Doug's doing too, right? He's starting in, I don't know, mid 1800s or something like that, like Civil War or even before, I'm not sure, and just going in a full progression of wars right up until 2025. I think that game's supposed to be out soon, the 2025 game, and that game is for Historical Board Gaming, and it's going to be an all-in-one game. Like you don't have to just buy the map and then try to find pieces, right? Like I think that's going to be a game where you can just buy the whole damn thing, and all the pieces are going to be inside. And they kind of got to do it that way, because it's a future game, right? And so they need those pieces don't exist, and you can't just use a um, uh, World War II aircraft carrier, right? like you have to use the newer style, and so yeah, that'll be out soon. But anyway, um, he was kind of doing the same thing that historical board gaming was. I'm talking about NATO here. So so I hooked the two of them up, and I think that they're doing some work together. I'm not sure. I'm not involved in that. I'm just I just know that they're nice people. So what else? Who's next on my list? Rank Carcass. I went and visited him in Edmonton. That's probably the highlight of my year. Well, both having him come here and me going there to play games. What's like other than the fact that him and his brother are such nice people and his family, like I stayed with his family at his house. Aside from that, which was wonderful. What was really interesting is to see the same game built two different ways, right? And that's what you're going to find with the 36 game, where that doesn't have any pieces included, is that everybody's going to have different pieces, right? And so my game and his game is like worlds apart. You know what I mean? As far as how it's built, how it's put together, and just see how long we got here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was really interesting, and they're good players too. I needed that because I didn't know how to play the game. Like I bought the game a year ago, and then I played it once myself, and then him and his brother came and played it with me, and they'd been playing for I think a year and a half or something like that. So they played a number of games, and then I went to their place, and um, that was lots of fun. I haven't seen him make a video for a while though. I did phone him to wish him a Merry Christmas there on Christmas Eve. Asked him why he wasn't making any videos. He goes, "I'm just about to make one," and then well, shit, what am I going to make a video of? I said, "Fuck, just make one of anything. Don't worry about it. Just make one." So we'll see. We'll see if he comes out with another video. But anyway, he hasn't done it for a while. Young Grasshopper, I talked a bit about him. Good friend of mine in Toronto. He's such a great guy. He's doing his own thing with aside from the things that we're doing, like in YouTube and .org. He's also got his own what is that called, Patreon page, where he's got people who subscribe to him there. But yeah, he's developing that game, and he's got two channels now. He's got Young Grasshopper, which is his main channel, and then he's got the Cliffside Bunker, which is a channel that he reserves just for the 3G40 stuff. So he's just probably the busiest man in Access Now. uh, and yeah, and yet he stops to take time to sit there and do live videos where he's taking people's questions and answering them and everything. He's one of the leaders of our community. He even has his own section on accessnowallies.org, um, and does his own stuff on there. So great guy, and I don't know where the rest of our community would be without him. Like he kind of drives the rest of us. He was the one that got me into making videos. Me watching his videos and thinking, well, I could do something like that. I have nothing else to do right now, and like I started doing that, and it was because of him. And so a lot of us owe a lot to Young Grasshopper, and in the coming year. Uh, there's going to be, I'm not exactly certain what's going to happen, but I know that they're planning on a tournament at the Defen Bunker, which was a Cold War bunker. It's a huge complex, and it's somewhere between Toronto and Ottawa. I think probably closer to Ottawa. So I'm not sure if they're doing that and a Grasshopper Invitational, or if that's going to take place of the Grasshopper Invitational. I don't know what rule sets they're going to use. I'm not sure about that at this point, but I know that there's going to be a tournament, and he's going to be involved this coming fall. So look for that. Look for information on that. What else we got here? Brian Wassam. He put out a couple of videos a few months ago. Love his videos. If you've never seen a Brian Wassam video, then you gotta check him out. He's very entertaining. Him and his buddy, they just play Global 40, and he's just got a way of explaining it. He does it like he takes the German, Russian, Japanese turn, then he makes a video. Or a segment of video, and then he does the rest of the turn, and then makes another video. So he does it twice every round. He does a section every round. Who else? No Limit. He's out of Chicago. He's a he's a very interesting guy. Um, his he he's let's just say he's the craziest guy in the Access Now Allies community. He's very interesting. Some people just love his stuff. Me, I'm kind of on the fence, you know, like I'll watch it and I'll think, sorry, no lemon. But yeah, like he's a very interesting guy. Some of you just absolutely love him. What else? Crockett, he didn't put out much this year. GI Joe, great guy. He went he went to Normandy this year, so he started putting out a few of those videos that from he went to Normandy with some friends. That's great. He's in the middle of printing out every single Axis and Allies map. He can't get enough of it. He's printing. He was just looking for the revised and classic games on vinyl, and so I sent him a couple of files there. He just can't help himself. He must have got too much money for Christmas. Corpo, love that guy. He's in the Bay Area. Like I told you, he's got a thing coming up. He does a lot of playing online, Axis and Allies online. Hunter Jones, he kind of disappeared, but I think it's because he's getting himself smart. He there we go. He's in university now, so he's got his priorities where they need to be. Um, if you were spending the amount of time that I do on Axis and Allies, you'd be failing all your classes. So good on you, Hunter Jones, for putting your priorities right. Der Kunstler, he moved. You wonder what happened to Der Kunstler. He moved, and so he hasn't reset up his war room yet, and I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do. If he's planning on resetting it up and restarting his channel or what he's doing. But everybody loves his videos, so I hope and pray that he starts making videos again because his videos were unique. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of do kind of the same thing, and he does something that's completely different, right? And his videos are awesome. He's a very thoughtful man, and we all just love watching his videos. Big E, everybody loves Big E too. He does other games too, not just Axis and Allies, and so I think he's planning on doing more. He's also working with Grasshopper on the 3G40 game. Um, Always good to see Big E. I love meeting him in Toronto. Very nice guy, awesome person. Um, I see some other things on here, but I don't remember any of their videos because it's been so long. Like one of the things, like I used to do shout outs for people all the time, right? Whenever I seen a new channel, I'd do a shout out, but then they'd never do another video, right? You'd say, "Hey, go check out this guy," and so you get 10 subscribers that day or something, right? And then they never did another video after that. So, you know, so I don't really do shout outs too much anymore unless I see them, continuing. Um, like here, Dutch Lancaster, he was playing in the YouTube wars there. He seems to be into continuing along. Jonathan Meyer, haven't seen him do many videos lately, but always really enjoyed his stuff. He played 1914. It was most of his videos were 1914, but he's since started making other videos as well. He's got the global game now, but I don't think he has a lot of space to play it. So you kind of need that, right? Especially if you're making a video, because it, well, whether you're just playing it or whether you're making a video, you kind of need that. Anyway, so and there's other people on here too. This video is starting to go long, so anyway, those are some of the people that you should go check out. But really, I was compelled to make this video today more than anything to thank everyone for being a subscriber of mine and for watching my videos. I really enjoy that. I'm not going to tell you a long story like I did at 1,000. If you want to hear all about me, then go back to my 1,000 video. But I'm not going to do that this time because there's not much more to say, not much more that I feel like saying, that's for sure. Just that I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to be making these videos, and I'm really enjoying this part of my life. I raised a big family, had 5 kids and I raised them and everything. And now I live alone. And so, um, I've got the extra time to do this, and it's something that I was always interested in. Even when I had a big family, I was interested in it, but I didn't have the time. Right? I don't mean about making videos, but I mean about playing the games and stuff like that, because there's a lot of demands on your time, right? With your spouse and with each different kid. Like, it's not just the kids. Like, they're actually human beings. All 5 of them, right? So all 5 of them have needs, and but yeah, like, that part of my life is over, and all those kids have grown, and so I've got the extra time, and I'm just happy that you all joined me on this little thing that I do here, where I'm playing with these little army men. Um, and you probably wondering, well, isn't he going to give away a prize? Of course, I'm going to give away a prize. What the fuck do you think I'm doing here? So what is it then? What is it? Tell us. Tell us. Okay, so this is a really cool prize, but it's also unique. Okay. Um, I want you to only enter this contest if you can actually use this thing, and not all of you will be able to use it. I know that. If you live in an apartment, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to use this. So I was telling you about my friend Panzer King there. Um, he when he went to, like, I got him into Global 40 over a year ago, anyway, just about a year and a half ago now. And he went, he just loves it. He went and he printed off a map, and I said, "This is too big, dude." he's got an Axis and Allies map exactly like mine. You've seen my Axis and Allies map, so it's the same file. He printed it. It's 99 inches long, which is bigger than a sheet of plywood. Like, if he would have stopped at 96, that would have been perfect, right? He could just, like, that table that I use for my 36 game. That's 96 inches long. So anyway, uh, when he got it printed off, he got it printed at the same place that I do. And these people, like the guy that does the printing there, he's very meticulous, right? He just said he had a tiny little smudge in Siberia where there was no writing or anything, no borders and stuff. It was just a little smudge. It was like somebody bumped the printer or something, right? And so he's, and he had to redo the whole thing, this huge map, right? But there's no sense in throwing his map away, so he gave it to Panzer King. And, like, if it was 96 inches long, I would have taken it, right, and put it on my table. But I can't use it because it's too long, right? So when I was telling him last night, holy crap, I just hit 1,500. He goes, "What you gonna give away?" And I said, "Well, I don't have anything." He goes, "How about that map of mine?" Well, hey, that's a good idea. So yeah, this is not just from me; it's from my friend Panzer King, who I think is going to start his own channel this year, in this coming year. He's putting together the 36 game right now. You notice that I put out a parts list for 36 just in the past week here, and one of the reasons that um, I was able to do that, I was able to put it together so quickly, was because he's been asking me lately what to buy and everything, and so I made a list of neutrals for him and stuff, and so it's been on the top of my mind, and then other people online have been asking me, so I was able to put that together. But anyway, he's busy putting together his 36 game and building himself a war room. I mean, he had a garage, or he has a garage, and we were playing in there. We were playing with this massive Axis and Allies map in there. But he wants to build a nice table and make it a nice room, right? And so that's what he's doing right now. And when he's got that done, I think he's going to start making videos. But he was kind enough to donate his 99-inch map, this behemoth. It's really cool though. Like, you never short on space, that's for sure, right? Uh, but the problem is, if there's just 2 of you, you're tired by the end of the day. I remember I was playing against him and another guy. They were the Axis and I was the Allies. So what is that, like 4 or 5, 6 different countries? And so you're just doing laps and laps and laps around this table, right? I was ready to drop by the end of it. But it is neat though. It's really neat to play on a map that size. Um, but you are going to need the space to do this, right? You're going to need to build a table, because I don't think, unless you've got the biggest fucking dining room table I've ever seen, this is not going to fit on any table that you have. He should have stopped at 96, so you could have put it on a sheet of plywood, but he didn't. So anyway, you're just going to have to build a table that's at least 96 inches long, and then width it's less than 4 feet wide anyway. Like it's not as wide as the 36 map, or tall, I mean. But for length, it's 8 feet plus 3 inches. So anyway, if you're going to enter this contest for it, please make sure that you can use the map, okay? Because I want you to send me pictures. I want to see pictures of you playing on this map. I don't want to just send it to somebody who's going to throw it in their closet. It's a nice map. If you want to know what it looks like, just take a look at any of my Axis and Allies videos. Ever since the beginning of my channel, I've been playing on the same map. Two versions of the map. Like the first few videos were on a different. It was the same map file, but it was glossy, and I didn't like that. It was hard to make videos on it. So I got a newer map that had a matte finish, but both of them are the same map. My map is 77 inches wide, so it was about 13% larger than the regular Axis and Allies map, and that was pretty good. I could have 84 would have been a great length to go at, like 7 feet long. I think the original is 70 or 72 inches, so that's 6 feet. 7 feet would have been good, but his is 8 feet plus, and that's the map that I'm giving away. And I'll mail it wherever you are. You have to be a subscriber of mine, and I'm gonna check. You know, like I'll draw the name out of the hat, and then I'll like most of them I know. You know, okay, that guy's a subscriber. But if I haven't heard of your name, then I'm gonna go and look. So you have to be a subscriber. And you have to have the space for it. Like you have to be able to use that map. This isn't the last prize I'm going to give away. You know me, I like to give away prizes. I don't have anything extra right now. So, but in the coming year, I could see there's going to be a couple occasions to do that. Um, so just bow out of this contest. Like you can write a comment in the thing saying, "Hey, way to go, GHG," or something. You know, that's fine. But if you want to enter the contest, you got to leave a comment on this video. And you got to say specifically that you want to be in the contest. You have to be a subscriber, and you have to be able to use the map. Like it doesn't do our community any good if somebody gets this map and then just puts it in their closet, you know, and can't use it. Let somebody have it who has the means and the ability to build a table and to put that table somewhere in their house, you know, or in their backyard. I don't care where you play your game. Just make sure that somebody gets this map that can use it. Don't just take it just because, oh, I won something. Woo! You know, I like winning shit too, but you know, what good is winning a sewing machine if I'm never going to use it? You know, I mean, I'd rather just go buy a shirt, right? Um, anyway, so that's what happened in here, and I think that's about it. I mentioned a bunch of other YouTubers that you can go check out, and anyway, I got to get going here. I can start uploading this video, and then I got to get back there to my 1942 is awaiting me. 1941 was an interesting turn. 1942 awaits, and I when I went and turned the light on there, and those guys get pissed off at me. The little army men, they're like, "Do you want me to shoot him? Do you want me? Do you want me to shoot him? I'll shoot him." You know, and you probably think I'm kidding. Like, I don't know. Don't your Axis and Allies guys talk to you? Because mine do. And if yours don't, then I've been holding out on you, haven't you? So in the description box below this video, I'm going to leave a link where you can go and get yourself some of these things and discover that I'm just bullshitting you right now. They don't actually talk to me. Anyway, so thanks to everybody for subscribing, and thanks for watching my videos, and take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out.